With the few chapters of the Timeskip that have already been released, the strength that Boruto now possesses after the Timeskip is unrecognizable, shooting him up to one of the top tier characters in the series when it comes to strength and abilities. However, this is actually a problem and is one of the reasons why he doesn't use his karma, as Boruto becoming this strong is great. However, if Momoshiki is to take control, it is over for this planet. This may be the reason why we haven't seen Boruto use his karma in the Timeskip, and we probably won't see him use the karma until he deals with Momoshiki and the threat that he is. As we see, there is a clear reason why Boruto is not using his karma. The abilities that Boruto has awakened and mastered throughout the Timeskip have been to counteract the fact that he won't and doesn't want to use the karma. As if you pay close attention to all the abilities that Boruto has awakened, you would see that they all replace one of the karma's abilities. I've always had the idea to post this video ever since the fight between Code and Boruto, where Code ended up unleashing his white karma, but Boruto didn't. Even though Boruto is clearly stronger, there must have been a reason why Boruto didn't use it. But I saved this video until I saw the method in which Boruto ended up going to the 10 Tails location. As instead of using one of the karma's abilities, which is space-time ninjutsu, Boruto ended up learning the Flying Raijin, which allowed him to go to the 10 Tails dimension without actually using his karma. This is very interesting, and ever since that happened, I knew for sure that there is a clear reason and intent that Boruto is not using his karma. Because when a karma user wants to go to a different dimension, they use their karma, as shown by Jigen, Kawaki, and Boruto back in the days. Boruto had this ability and he used it multiple times. He used it with Sasuke to take Ishiki to a different dimension, and he also used it after that fight to bring them back to the Leaf Village. But now, for some odd reason, Boruto has learned the Flying Raijin, and we haven't seen Boruto use the karma for about 4 chapters. I'm not saying that Boruto shouldn't have learned the Flying Raijin, but there is a clear reason why he used the Flying Raijin and not his karma. This only reinforces the fact that Boruto's new arsenal is clearly meant for him not to have to rely on the karma anymore. And this makes even more sense why Boruto, unlike Kawaki, hasn't been shown to use Momoshiki's abilities at all. There is a very special reason why, and a theme that connects to the story, but we'll discuss this later on in the story. We see characters like Code, who, because of the defective karma they have other abilities that allow him to go to different dimensions with his claw marks. But Boruto, who does have the karma, he uses Flying Raijin. Everything is very intentional, and coupled with the fact that Boruto hasn't been using his karma, this is very interesting. Because in the past, Boruto was shown to use these karmic abilities. He was using the karmic abilities that involve space-time ninjutsu, absorption of different ninjutsu using the karma, and karma version 2. However, Boruto doesn't use these abilities at all during the Timeskip. And this problem all seems to have started with Momoshiki taking over in the fight versus Code, as ever since the Code arc, there has been some problems with Boruto using his karma. We obviously know that Boruto took the pills from Amato, and then when Boruto was trying to tap into Momoshiki's powers, he got a heart attack, and then Momoshiki was given a window to take control, and he went crazy and ballistics, leading to Boruto eventually having to die. And although a lot of people don't believe that it had an impact on Boruto, Boruto dying had some lasting impacts on the story and eventually led to Boruto and Kawaki no longer seeing eye to eye, as the Code arc actually changed everything when it comes to the dynamic between Boruto and Kawaki. As before, Boruto was able to use those abilities no problem, and that was simply due to the fact that Momoshiki couldn't take over because his DNA wasn't fully extracted, or to the point that allowed him to take over. Which is why after Boruto got his karma during the Momoshiki arc, we didn't see Momoshiki take over at all until the point where Boruto reached around 80% of the karmic extraction. After that time, Momoshiki was not able to take over. And ever since that moment, 9 times out of 10, Momoshiki taking over always occurs after Boruto has used the karma for a bit of time. This was seen in the Code Arc after Boruto used Karma version 2 for a while, and then Momoshiki was given the window to take control after Boruto had a heart attack, and then during the fight versus Kawaki and Boruto, the fight that they had in chapter 78, Kawaki and Boruto fought for a bit, and then later on in that chapter, Momoshiki was shown to be able to take over and freed Kawaki, who was held hostage by Shikamaru, Sasuke, and Mitsuki. All these different moments show that when Boruto uses his karma, Momoshiki later on gets a window to take control. And this effect makes perfect sense, especially when Boruto uses Karma version 2, as Boruto is literally tapping into Momoshiki's powers, so it makes sense that Momoshiki himself would be able to take control. Coupled with the fact that in chapter 75, we are shown and told that Momoshiki's and Boruto's minds are merging, so now Momoshiki is now able to take control of Boruto's body a lot easier, because we are literally shown Momoshiki and Boruto being able to talk in their mind. So now it seems like there are two souls in that one body, and from time to time, Momoshiki takes the edge, especially when Boruto uses his karma. And Boruto has learned his lesson, especially after that 3-year time skip. And Sasuke must be the one who guided Boruto towards this discovery, because after the time skip, we clearly see a difference in the way Boruto thinks when it comes to using the karma. The karma is not Boruto's ability, it is more like Momoshiki, and if Boruto uses the karma, he would let Momoshiki take over. So Boruto developed his new arsenal to the point where he doesn't rely on the karma any longer. So now Boruto's true power are all the powers that he has in his base form, coupled with the fact that he is an Otsutsuki and his abilities have now been enhanced. However, this is actually a double-edged sword, as it makes perfect sense that Boruto doesn't use the karma due to the possibility that Momoshiki would end up taking over. However, with the new villains that are being introduced and the different people who are getting stronger and stronger, and it seems that there is a potential of us meeting new Otsutsukis in the future, there is going to be a moment where Boruto is going to be pushed to use the karma. Just like Kawaki, when he was pushed down by one of the claw grinds, was pushed to use his karma so that he could beat them. Kawaki has less problems using the karma, but Boruto doesn't want to. But it is clear that there will come a moment where Boruto will have to use his karma. And when that moment does happen, we will see Momoshiki take over and become even stronger, because Boruto, who is his vessel, is a lot stronger too. And with Momoshiki being shown to use things like the Vanishing Rasengan, which are all part of Boruto's arsenal, he will now have the new abilities that Boruto has awakened in the future. Imagine Momoshiki starting to spam Usuhiko over and over again to all the people that he is fighting. And with the theme of the story, which is getting a lot darker, we will definitely be seeing people actually dying when Momoshiki ends up taking over. And coupled with the fact that the omnipotence is ongoing right now, if Momoshiki is to kill somebody while he takes control of Boruto's body, it will just confirm all the doubts that people have when it comes to Boruto and his character. Everything Boruto is doing right now is to avoid this taking place, as Momoshiki's taking over is equally as bad as another Otsutsuki being introduced to this verse. As right now, if we are perfectly honest, apart from these 4 new villains who have been introduced, the top tier characters right now are either Ida, Damien, and Boruto. Boruto definitely seems like he is stronger than Kawaki. So imagine if Momoshiki is to take control. The only person who could really do something against Boruto would be Damien. Not Ida, because she is not shown to be a fighter, but it would be Damien because Boruto as an Otsutsuki is immune to Ida's ability. So the only person who could really take down Boruto if Momoshiki is to take control, it would be Damien. And Damien only seems to care about protecting Ida. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens if Momoshiki is to be the one to take over, because this time I do expect a lot of people to start dying. As with the state of the planet when we saw in the first time skip scene, it doesn't seem like it is a happy place to be living at at all. However, Boruto developing these abilities is not only because he doesn't want to tap into his Otsutsuki powers or his karma powers, but it also reinforces the idea that Boruto truly is the last shinobi. Cause, just like Kawaki, Boruto doesn't like being called an Otsutsuki. To Boruto, he is simply Boruto Uzumaki, not Otsutsuki Boruto like the Shinshu are now calling Boruto. He is Boruto Uzumaki, so he will continue down the shinobi path, developing ninjutsu but not Otsutsuki-like method, which Kawaki will end up taking. Already, we can see the dynamic between Boruto and Kawaki. Both of them have the karma, but one won't use the karma because it doesn't align with his shinobi way of thinking, and the other one wants to use those Otsutsuki powers to defy the Otsutsukis themselves. This is the dynamic that is currently being set up between Boruto and Kawaki, and it's going to be very interesting to see how these two ways of thinking will actually end up developing. It's the same way that pre-Timeskip Boruto was never shown to be able to use Momoshiki's abilities at all, because deep in Boruto's ideologies, it is wrong for him to use those Otsutsuki powers because it is not who he is. Just like after Boruto cheated and used those scientific ninja tools, he never wanted to use technology as an aid because he viewed it as being wrong. It's the same way that Boruto pre-Timeskip is not able to use Momoshiki's abilities at all because it doesn't match his ideology. However, Kawaki is the opposite. He is able to tap into Ishiki's abilities because it matches with his ideology. Kawaki wants to use those powers to defy the Otsutsuki's, so he is able to tap into Ishiki's abilities and powers to do and accomplish his goals. When Boruto's ideology doesn't match with who he is, he can't use Momoshiki's abilities. But Kawaki's, whose ideology matches exactly with Ishiki's, he is able to tap into Ishiki's abilities. But that doesn't mean that Boruto will never use the karma at all, because there will definitely come a time that seems to have approached in the timeskip where Boruto is comfortable with using the karma. As we saw in the first scene of the Boruto series, that Boruto was using his karma and his Jogan. Because there will come a time where Boruto is no longer connected with Momoshiki at all, which will allow Boruto to come to the understanding that he can use the karma and the powers that he has been given and truly understand what it means to be a shinobi. Because being a shinobi has nothing to do with the powers that you use, whether they be Otsutsuki or not. It has to do with you enduring and never giving up no matter what. Because this is exactly what Boruto has been doing for the last 3 years, ever since Sasuke got turned into a tree. And this is another reason why you have to watch this video right here, as Boruto has endured so much ever since the Omnipotence, and you have to find out how it changed Boruto.